Hello and welcome back together to my weekend update on the financial markets. My name is Jens and like every weekend I discuss with you together the S&P 500 index, US oil, gold and Bitcoin against US dollar at the weekly, daily and for all time frame via technical analysis so that you know what to do in the markets the weeks ahead. At the moment I have 3 positions open, one in Bitcoin, gold and another one in the S&P 500 index. So let's start directly in the video with the S&P 500 index on the weekly time frame. Yeah, here you can see at the weekly time frame S&P 500 index, we are in an uptrend, rising prices, higher highs and higher lows. And right there last Friday we have seen that the market just made a new all-time high and is defining another impulse to the upside. Now is the question, is this here a double top scenario? So we will see from here on then declining prices, or is this a new impulse to the upside that will follow along like the past cycles did as well? On a weekly, my little concern is this MACD divergence to price. So prices are rising, MACD indicator is falling. Back in the days here, this was the same scenario, and what followed was a huge correction. I think maybe a small correction can make it also, or could be enough, but let's stay bullish as long as we don't see prices fall below this last low here. And now let's drop down to the lower time frames for more details. Here at the daily time frame, you can see that the daily uptrend was broken to the downside. We went into a consolidation slightly pointing to the downside. Then we got a MACD cross to the upside, which is a bullish sign. We broke this white dotted downtrend line to the upside, leaving the last high behind, creating a new all-time high. And now I'm waiting for a small setback to increase my ongoing long trade position. I was entering, or I wanted to enter the market here, but we had a price gap, so the broker was able to get me into the trade a little bit later, so at a higher price, around 6,080 points in the index, but that's fine. My take profit target is 2.5 times my risk away, so I'm risking at the moment $1,000 or nearly 1% of my account balance, and I would make $2,300,000 if S&P 500 keeps rising like it did in the past. Yeah, if we drop down to the 4 time frame, you can see that we are a little bit stretched to the upside. The indicator also wants to turn to the downside and crosses to the downside, so I would expect a nice pullback, maybe even back testing this broken downtrend line. And then if we see price movement like this, for example, and then a break again above the high, I would enter with another maybe 1% into the position, so increase the position to $2,000 at risk. Same stop loss, or maybe even getting a stop loss a little bit higher, maybe below this setback, and continue riding prices higher. I'm pretty bullish at the moment for S&P 500, and that's a bullish scenario. But like always, you also have a bearish scenario. I think it's the more unlikely one, but maybe this here is a double top scenario. So a high that's nearly the same high as the new one. We see a break lower and breaking this low here. This was a major move. If we make here a lower low and break this orange weekly uptrend to the downside, make a retest and break the retest again to the downside, that would mean far lower prices for the index. And here I would get also stopped out of my position, and I would probably open here up a short position in the market, so profiting from falling markets, but more to that in future episodes. That's it for the S&P 500 index. Let's switch to US oil against the US dollar. US oil here at the weekly time frame, we can see a monthly red solid downtrend line. That one got broken to the upside, and since then we are moving inside this weekly consolidation here and went straight into a nice triangle formation. That one got broken to the downside, retesting a weekly support area, got rejected from there, and now is breaking the downtrend line of the triangle to the upside. We got rejected at the 200 moving average and coming down at the moment. I was able to get here some percentages into my account balance via a long trade. I closed that one a little bit too early, but maybe we got another chance to get into rising markets on oil, because that looks at the moment to me like a bullish chart. Let's drop down to the daily time frame. Here you can see again this weekly downtrend line from the triangle formation. That one got broken to the upside in a uptrend and now it's coming heavily down. MACD also crossed the downside, bearish sign. Maybe we'll go even lower. I would prefer that we don't dip below this daily support zone here, because otherwise that would speak for maybe a fake out, and we'll continue lower again from here. But we are adaptive as traders, so we could also adapt that and make money in this situation. But for now, I stay bullish. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, where each candle represents 4 hours of price action, you can see the white dotted uptrend line got broken to the downside, created a new 4-hour downtrend line here. MACD is exhausted to the downside and wants to cross again to the upside. So I would expect that we soon see here a break of this downtrend line to the upside, maybe getting rejected here at this busy area where price often moved along. Got rejected here. I would expect making a higher low, so we are not getting lower than this, and from there on breaking this retest again to the upside, and that would be a situation where I would like to open up a long position, probably something like this here, and I would aim probably for the mid 80s in US oil. I think that would be a good target, and the stop loss below this retest would give us, in this situation, like I was drawing it in, for sure it will not come exactly like that, but maybe similar, and that would be a good risk-reward ratio and something you could think about going long in oil. But I will keep you updated on my next weekend report as usual. That was the bullish side. Maybe we will continue even lower, so maybe we get the retest but then break even lower. In this case, I don't want to trade at the moment, because the overall picture to me is bullish, so I would prefer to trade into that direction. That's it for oil. Let's switch to gold. You can see the gold chart priced in US dollars. On the weekly time frame, we had here an often tested resistance zone, but once gold was able to break above that, we have known only one direction, and that's up. We had a couple of impulses and corrections, and I think we left behind last Friday the last correction here, and have been nearly able to make a new all-time high. Not directly, but MACD indicator seems to wants to cross to the upside, so a bullish sign. We are above the 10-week moving average again, also bullish sign. So let's drop down to the daily time frame. On the daily, you can see that I was expecting an ABC pattern. That never happened, so we can delete that one out of the picture. We had an white dotted downtrend line drawn here inside, and that one got broken to the upside, and also the daily support and resistance zone was broken to the upside. That was the sign to me to get into the market with a long position, stop loss below the last major setback after the break of this downtrend line, and I would aim slightly below the $3,000 mark for an ounce in gold. And at the moment I'm risking $500 or 0.5% of my account balance on this trade, and I would like to add to this trade, so increase the risk and also the profit if we see a nice pullback here, because this top here could act as resistance, and from there we see a pullback and then a break of the pullback to the upside. Oopsie, was a little bit too much of arrows. Let's take the tool again. Setback, break of the setback to the upside at high highs, and this would be the level where I would add to my position, probably another 0.5% at risk. Yeah, maybe we have a double top scenario here, like in S&P 500, could be also likely, and then we would see not a continuation with uptrend, but a reversal, and probably then retesting the weekly uptrend line here. But I think it's a more unlikely scenario, but be prepared also for that. So the stop loss is in place. If price went again against me, I would only lose what I have calculated in. If we drop down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have a slight divergence from price to MACD. So MACD is making a lower high while price is making higher highs. So the correction is probably in front of the door, and I would really like to see one of that in an ABC correction, for example, then again rising prices. And then, like I said, if we see a break again to the upside here above this high, that would be a good situation to increase my position in this long trade. Yeah, that's it for gold. Let's go last but not least to Bitcoin. So here we are, Bitcoin against the US dollar on the weekly time frame. You can see we have a nice uptrend here with a long corrective phase here. Was a hard time for traders and hodlers, but then after the break of this weekly downtrend line, we have seen a skyrocketing move to the upside and now are in our first real correction. And I think this correction could be over because we have seen on Friday a slightly higher high. Let's drop down to the daily for more details. Here on the daily, you can see that we have a intact white solid uptrend line, not broken yet to the downside. We have a solid daily support zone here that's protecting price from declining lower, and we could see here an ABC pattern. That's a corrective pattern. If that one gets broken to the upside, it's normally bullish. Also, MACD indicator has here at the same spot a divergence. Price was making lower lows while MACD is making higher lows. That's a bullish scenario, and because of that, we have seen probably this breakout here and retest to the breakout zone. If we go at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that then after that price was a little bit indecisive and went into a triangle formation. And there's the question. We will see also here a double top scenario and a break to the downside. That would be bearish and will probably mean that we will retest this support zone again in combination with this daily white solid uptrend line. That would also stop me out of my actual trading position with 0.5% at risk. I was entering after seeing price above point B of this ABC formation. Yeah, that would be the worst case, but the stop is intact and on place, so no problem. But what's with the bullish situation? The bullish situation would look like the following. We get in a couple of the next week or next couple of days a break out of this triangle formation, retest, and a break of the last high here to the upside and a continuation of the overall uptrend. If we see price above $109,800 US, I would double my position here and increase my position to $1,000 at risk. And also my stop loss would move slightly to the upside, and my take profit target would be below this Fibonacci retracement tool around $123,000 per Bitcoin. Yeah, that's the bullish case and my preferred way, of course. I hope you have a lot of success next week with your trading. Stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't yet. You will see another video from me next weekend. Bye bye.